Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for coming to Spelljammer 998. It is 998. It is nice to see you all again. Thank you for coming. Last time on, well, we are going to go ahead and get started because Joey and Hayden will not be here tonight. Sad face. But we are going to go ahead and see where the night takes us and where the adventure takes us from there. Last time on Spelljammer 998. You guys did several things. I think the biggest of which is you guys tracked down House Cannith in an attempt to obtain some information for Sly, the sponsor for the Tournament of Champions, which you won a couple of sessions ago. And you've obtained 2 of the 3 pieces that he asked of you by going to going to Moorgrave University, and going to visit Vera D Cannith, who is helping run some warehouses to manufacture auto gnomes here in Sharn. You guys spoke with Vera and had actually a fairly long conversation with her. You were introduced to a 1G1, a currently functioning auto gnome, and Vera told you guys about a crime scene that they had recently left. You know, they've been dealing with some break-ins, and the Sharn Watch was taking a long time to investigate. So after getting this news from her and speaking with her, y'all went looking for House Cannith to retrieve your 3rd piece of information. You got your friend Randy eventually tracked down House Cannith to their current hidey hole, if you will. And after being greeted at the door by Marcus Cannith, you guys are led into their current hideout and have a little bit of a conversation with Thora Cannith, who's very happy to see some familiar faces who brought some muscle along. She leads you guys to an undisclosed location, deeper down into Sharn, into ruins of old Sharn, where you guys vanquished some hooked horrors for her, and managed to secure a payload of cargo that they had stashed in these ruins. And you guys were offered. Thora offered you guys to a new mission to help see this cargo through wild space into the Rock of Brawl. I believe she would have told you guys that it is a 2-week journey to get to the rock, and that is, you would be paid to ride on the ship with the cargo, make sure it is delivered safely, and then you could return by whatever means you saw fit. Let's see if I missed anything big. Those of you that may not remember, this cargo is dragon dust. You assume it is the dragon dust you were paid to find out about. I think that's about it. I watched the recap. I don't think I missed anything big. Does anybody else?
I'm glad you mentioned how long the journey would take, because I don't remember if we asked or not, but I was thinking about that earlier today.
There's the other big thing. She tells you that it's going to take them about 3 days to load all of the dust onto the ship, and that they would depart at that time. So I believe you guys still have all 3 days, because I don't think you slept since then. Let's see what day it is. That's something else I want to start doing. Y'all start making me remember that when I do the intro, hello everybody and welcome. I'm going to tell y'all what day it is. And today is 17 of Nim. So that's January, February, March, April, May, June. June 17th, essentially. 17 of Nim. So you guys don't need to go to the dock ward until the 20th of Nim. Oh, I've got that on the calendar already. Good for me. Okay. Does anyone have anything else they want to add? Snide comments, remarks, questions?
So that's the only thing we got going on is in 3 days get to the ship and help carry 2 weeks away.
Well, on your calendar right here, I need to rearrange these. The 20th of Nim is when the ship leaves the Cannith ship leaves. The 22nd, which is, I was going to say a Sunday, but that's not how this works, is the last day to give Sly information, to return your information to Sly. And then there's something slated for a rumor that Demos was told about that's several months away. You guys did at the end of the episode, or towards the end of the episode, after you guys vanquished the hooked horse, you went to investigate this crime scene that Vera had told you about, which you guys actually found out is a laboratory up in one of the upper districts in the 12 tower districts of Sharn, in Tavic's Landing, and you guys did a little bit of casing the joint. Demos, I guess, would still be currently looking through his familiar, so blind and holding on to somebody because he can't see, and his cuckoo, Quetzalcoatl, the little Quetzalcoatl, had been flying around taking a look at stuff. I just realized y'all can't see this map. Bam!
No, we are not.
So, I guess to recap, Brandon, I guess you weren't here. And to clarify, it is still guarded. These are all, you can ignore the fact, you can't see all the tokens, I guess, but some of them will look different. Don't worry about how the tokens actually look, because I'm using generic 5e tokens. But it's easy to see the people standing around the laboratory are Sharn Watch, the guard/police force of Sharn. And Demos saw, not altogether total. I used the number 30 last session, and I didn't mean to give the impression that he can count 30 people. Coming and going, he saw people coming and going that weren't dressed in Sharn Watch clothing. But for the most part, he was seeing guards change shift, people coming in and out of the building, and he probably saw a total of 30 people between all the people leaving, people coming in, etc., etc. So you guys know that it is fairly well guarded. But you've also been hired. I believe you were promised 400 gold pieces apiece to return any evidence from the crime scene, which is why they went to investigate. And so I believe it is up to you guys now. You are still not right outside the laboratory, but casing the joint somewhat from a distance, especially using Demos's his familiar to look through his familiar. You guys are the world is yours. Your oyster, your space oyster.
Ugh.
So.
I'm trying. So, I think I'd like to maybe spend a couple minutes just sitting here to see if there's like any kind of patterns around like when guards maybe go when the Sharn Watch goes in, when they go out, like if they're moving in any kind of rotation or if it's just sort of random sporadic nonsense and the timing of it's going to be up to chance.
How long would you like to watch? Sounds like it's a stake.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to spend way too much time. Is everybody comfortable with like, I don't know, an hour maybe?
And Ringcon's important.
Okay. So I would say for an hour, there's not a whole lot that goes on. You would see occasionally maybe one or two people come and go. The cat's distracting me. You do see, so these guards, these guys out here, camping. These guys out here are standing watch. In the hour that you're there, you don't see them change watch. You can safely assume that their periods for standing watch are probably longer than an hour. But you do, I would say, especially with the help of Demos, you only see one door, which is here. And of course, several windows, which Demos was able to determine that at least one, and I'll go ahead and ping which one, window is unlatched and could be opened. I just realized those were turned the wrong way. It's okay. So I would say for an hour, it's kind of the same thing. A couple people come and go. At this time of the day, the traffic slows down a little bit. You gather you guys probably came in as people were still funneling in for investigating. And now it's mostly guards coming and going. You're assuming carrying messages or updates. And a few people that are not dressed like guards but are not stopped by the guards. And actually, go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead and make a perception check. What's your passive perception check, everybody? I'm going to look.
10 for me.
Your passive perception's higher than that.
I got an 11.
Rolled an 18.
Interesting. Let me pull that up so I don't lose. That. So I don't get confused, brother. Let me pull up the campaign so I can see your rolls real quick. So I would say for an 18, you do out of the hour that you're there, you do notice that anybody that enters the building pauses at the front door for just a moment. I mean, maybe a second before they go on in. It's just a little weird that everybody that you've seen come through does it. It's almost like they step up to the door, stop, and then walk right through. I should say right through it. They open the door. But.
Relay that to the party, and I ponder for a moment, and I think I'm gonna say, if I was guessing, they got something up, some sort of way to, I don't know, check identity real quick or verify who's coming in and out. I'm just guessing. I don't know. Something seems a little weird.
I just find a way past checkpoints at least.
Any of you magic boys got anything that'll tell us if there's anything hooky dooky going on around here?
I'm looking to see. So I don't think that's my proficiency.
I screwed myself.
I'm just so cunning. Everybody lets me where I need to go anyway.
I screwed what's it called? My computer got real mad. I was in the right place, and then I backpedaled too many times. So I'm pretty certain, because Demos told me earlier that he does not have, he has mostly damaging spells. I'm going to check his character sheet, but it does not sound like he has the ability to do as you asked. I will let you know if that's not the case.
I'd be curious. Did we notice anything like that seemed, I guess, similar about the people who were going in and out that weren't guards? Like, was there anything that might make them seem like they're from the same general organization? Like, what separates them?
Mostly that they're wearing civilian clothes, so their outfits don't match exactly. So that tips you off a little bit in the sense that they do not seem to be part of the watch from the perspective, even though they're not wearing guard uniform, their outfits don't match. They do seem to be dressed as individuals, which is a little weird for the perspective of, like, this is a closed investigation. It's not uncommon for outsiders, outside professionals to be brought in on investigations, but they're not marked or you're not able to identify them in any way. So it is a little odd in that sense.
I think I'm out of ideas. I don't want to waltz right up.
Let's see if we can find, like, maybe sneak in a window or something. I
know the window's unlocked. I'm trying to think about how to get past guards that seem to be strategically positioned around the entire place to do that.
That's my hang up.
That is what they do.
I can't turn that invisible.
You could wait until a change if you wanted to. Well, assuming they change, but I think it would be safe for you guys to assume that the regular guardsmen standing outside have to change watch eventually. You don't really know how long that takes or how long it would be.
I think that's what Randy's gonna do. I think I would probably, I was hoping that an hour would be enough to get some sort of like rotational pattern, like people moving in and out, but it could be that they're working like 8-hour shifts or something. So
yeah,
my thought is maybe get somewhere where you can see the guards, keep an eye on, and somebody might move into a position that gives you a better vantage point or an opportunity to move in. And then instead of going for the door, I think I'm going to go for the unlocked window.
That's what I want to do.
yeah, that's a better option.
So I will. Last week, I believe I said that window is 10 feet off the ground. So do not forget to factor.
I can tell you what my plan is if you're curious.
I mean, you don't have to.
Lay it out, Randy.
If you want to tell him.
Yeah, so my thought is that I think at the end of last session, after he said the window was unlocked, I was sort of twirling my kunai. I think I'm gonna wait until it looks like there's sort of not closely watched by that area, and I'm gonna try to toss them into the wall as if to use them like stepping stones, and sort of like shamble up the wall to get up into the window.
Okay, interesting. I have to admit, I'm not sure daggers in the stone are going to hold your big friend. May not even hold Demos.
I don't think we send everybody. I don't know. I'd confer with the party, but does it make sense to send everybody, or?
I'll say that's up to you guys to discuss.
I mean, do we need anybody to, like, stand watch or anything, you think?
So Demos will pop up that he has the ability to contact you guys from a distance. If you guys decide you want someone to stand watch. If the rest of you have that ability, any of the rest of you have that ability, you may also speak up.
We have the telepathy for sure. That might be helpful.
Yeah, I think we should send in the bug boys. Silent communication, stealth.
It's definitely
Yeah.
up to you guys. Does anybody else have stealthy capabilities?
Oh, I am not stealthy this round.
Neither is Demos. It's okay.
I don't have the 3 green shapeshift and carapace thing, but I have decent stealth.
It's up to you guys. You send as many or as few as you guys are comfortable with.
Let's see, it'd be 3 and 3. Yeah, and I do feel like maybe with 3 people going in, we'd have a better advantage, sort of being able to keep an eye on our movement around the window, downstairs, and look inside. Sort of disperse a little bit without running too much risk, or less risk anyway.
Let's see spells real quick.
Sounds solid.
Echo mostly uses spells. Yeah, I can do what I want to do to the party. I'm like, I think I'm just going to toss some daggers in the wall and using the stepping stones, unless fancy guy over here has some sort of grappling arrow or something like that I don't know about.
Do you have a grappling arrow? Sounds neat.
Talking to me?
Yeah, I was making a joke.
Hey, I'm talking.
I got some rope.
Think you can make a clean shot a little bit above the window and let us climb?
It's worth a shot. I don't know, what is that, acrobatics? Sleight of hand?
I would say that you could just roll to hit. It's going to be, a high-ish DC since you're trying to land it in the perfect spot. And I guess it's more to see if the arrow sticks into the stone. You are shooting an arrow at a stone building. But I think it would be a roll to hit. I will mention, now that I got to look at it, Demos pops up and says that if you give him 10 minutes, he would be able to notice any magic within a certain range of himself.
I think we got more than 10 minutes. Go for it.
I mean, are y'all gonna take him in with y'all, or are y'all just wanting him? Like he tells you it's a fairly limited range. He can't cast it from here and see the whole building or anything.
I was more wondering about, like, are we going to set off any magical alarms just opening a window, or like trying to get inside the building, like if there was a barrier or something, right? That's what I was thinking.
Well, the good news is that he's gonna ritual cast this. I don't want to talk with him, so he doesn't mind to go ahead and do it. He says it only lasts for a certain amount of time, so we need to do it as close to time as we think is possible. But he is more than willing to at least go up towards the window with you guys and make sure there's nothing on the window.
That
Gotta buy him 10 minutes. It makes me a little nervous, but I think we'll be alright.
Okay. So I will say that you guys probably wait. You already waited an hour. You don't have to wait a terrible amount of time. It's probably another 2 hours before the guards begin to move. And of course, you know, this whole time there's people coming, people going. Not often, but occasionally. And after the 3 hour mark total, you know, 1 hour first and then 2 more hours, the guards do, I don't even really want to say rotate. They kind of change out. It's not disorganized, but other guards come from down the street, so to speak. I know there's lots of streets here. And the change of the guard begins. You guys know that this would happen again in 3 hours if you wish to wait, or you can take your opportunity now. Demos is frantically drawing, reading in his book, chanting, all the above at the same time. It's impressive.
I mean, this might be the best opportunity.
Yes, there we go.
Alright, rolling to hit.
What'd you say?
Late roll.
Rolling to hit. Does a 26 land in the stone?
That's a good roll. So you do definitely get to keep that roll, but I need you to roll a stealth check too, please.
Alright.
You are shooting an arrow at a building being watched.
Alright. Ooh, 10.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I gotta roll some stuff.
Oh no, don't roll the stuff.
He's rolling.
Keep rolling, rolling, rolling.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Man.
I don't like when Devin goes away.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide if it's worth it or not, too. So, Demos told me that he would use his portents for anything that compromised the mission. Because his portents are low rolls. So, as you're about to fire, Echo, you draw back, you go into your kind of, you know, the flow state as you're getting ready to let this arrow loose in just the right place to wedge it so it doesn't fall when they climb it. And Demos, in the middle of ritual casting this spell, you watch him kind of shake, look up at you, and immediately grab your arm, which delays you just in time for the guard that was looking that direction to turn around. You let the arrow go, and it lands right in the spot you needed to lock it in, make sure it's sturdy. We'll assume you already tied the rope to it.
Oh, yeah.
So now you guys have a limited amount of time to get up that rope and hopefully get it moved.
Yeah.
I will say, for those of you who don't know, climbing, since there is a rope, climbing there, it's only half speed. You don't have to make any checks or anything like that.
Okay. I'll tell them, go and get up it. I'll go last.
Can you everybody that's going in to make stealth checks, please?
Yes, sir.
Right here on solid ground.
Got a 15 on the stealth.
Got a 25.
I see that. Bunch of goodness. Where'd you get there, Drix?
Oh, my computer's being slow.
Oh, nice.
Y'all did really well.
18.
Congratulations. Y'all did pretty good. That's pretty good there. So if you guys want, you guys can drop your tokens here in this little room. I forgot when I'm revealing stuff that I came into this room here. I'm trying to make sure y'all can see all the doors and stuff. Perfect. Y'all can see this. I'll point out here a second. There is a door to the north here. So you guys scramble up the rope. That Echo is so expertly lodged into the windowsill. pop the window open. They kind of swing outwards and then bloop, bloop, bloop into the room, which thankfully is unoccupied. And I would say with y'all stealth scores, especially being as high as they are, like scamper up the rope, slide in the room, and then like almost immediately, like whoever goes last. I think you said Randy, you went last. You're pulling the rope up behind you almost. Like
that's what I was going to make sure I clarified.
As you guys are coming in, is smooth. The window is closed. This guard has barely finished exchanging watches before windows close back. You guys have slipped in. It's actually very impressive to you three watching. These three obviously have some experience with B&E, it would seem.
Yeah, we do.
Bacon and eggs.
I'm trying to drop a token. It's not going well for me.
Let's see. I just realized that Brandon can't do it, so I'm going to do his.
Yeah, I actually closed Roll20. It was bogging down my service, so I can't really see anything.
Oh, here we go. I think it had something to do with my token's image got funky and I had to re-upload, but I didn't re-upload for the actual token. Maybe that was it, but I'm on there now.
Put him here. So you got. Oh, I'll talk about this. Well, let me go ahead and talk about this before I forget, y'all. So you guys may notice there is no grid on this map. As you guys can imagine, I know you can't see it, Brandon, but there are like stonework tiles and things of that nature. It just was looking very busy with the grid when I turned the grid on. So what I've actually learned you can do is if you click your token to move it, if you move it around, it like leaves a little shadowy token wherever you started at. If you'll move your token around enough to do that and hit Q, you can actually see how far you're moving your token. The little ruler appears while you're moving your token around. So we're going to try that for a little while and see how that works without a grid. It's kind of neat.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And I'll go over this again when you're back at your computer and Joey's back, and I'll share my screen and show everybody how to do it. It's real neat. But for now, I can.
Oh, okay, cool.
I can
All right.
Yeah, neat.
Yeah, cool.
And that'll keep the grid as obnoxious when you're building maps like this. Anyway, you guys sneak into a room that does not seem to have been tossed. I described last week that several of the office spaces seem to have been rolled. Books in the floor, papers, all that fun stuff. But this room seems mostly untouched. It is a little unkept. It seems like it obviously hasn't been used in a minute and was left hastily. It appears to be some kind of employee lounge. Or perhaps a space. There is a place on the right. You see a basin and a cupboard. You assume this is something between a cafeteria and a lounge space. And then, of course, there is a door here, if this is hard to see, and a door here that goes to the north. Other than that, you don't see any other entrances or exits to this room. You don't see anyone in this room.
No windows or anything.
Just the two facing back outside.
Okay.
Wait, no doors at all?
No, there's a door to the north and a door to the west. Make this wall visible here.
I think what I'm gonna do, unless there's anything in here that looks interesting, like anything I should be digging through, but if it's like a lounge break area, like what's gonna be in here? I want to go stand by this door, I guess, and just listen for a minute.
Okay. Make a perception check.
Man, I should have really taken proficiency in my perception. Oh, 17.
It's just something that everybody uses. It's rough.
Is there a whiteboard?
I'm going. Well, I was going to move my roll 20, but I don't think I will.
Take a long one. Take it over to the smooch.
1 second, friends. I gotta be able to see stuff. Okay. All is quiet on the northern front, since that's a northern door. You don't hear. I mean, I would say you might can hear people talking, but it is extremely faint. Like from your perspective, it definitely you're expecting to hear people talking. They're investigating. You don't hear anything that leads you to believe they're on the other side of the door.
I'm gonna relay that to the other two and say, I don't hear nothing on the other side of this. You wanna pop open a little bit and see if we can peek through a crack?
Let's do it.
All right. I'm gonna creak the door. Hopefully not creak the door. I'm gonna crack the door.
Good, make a stealth check for me, please. Hopefully not creak the door. Fair enough.
13.
13. Okay, 2 seconds. I had to get myself organized, and now I'm somewhat organized. Okay. Oh boy. Oh. Okay.
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 Mm-hmm.
You see. Let me fix this. What appears to be a hallway. I'm going to undo more of it here in a second. With windows, a carpeted hallway with windows. A little bare. Didn't have a bunch of time to fix this. There may or may not be some benches, potted plants. It is decorated similarly to the room behind you guys. And I would say from where are you entering the room or just looking in the room?
I mean, once it looks like it's mostly clear to me, or I don't immediately see anything, I'm gonna sort of creak through and try to like just slip through and see what I'm looking at.
Okay, so the best you can tell, it does seem to be some kind of, I don't want to say observation platform, but that does seem to be its intended purpose. You can see through those windows out to the actual laboratory, which is on the ground level 10 feet beneath you. From your area, without being up to the window, it's hard to see down into the laboratory, but you can definitely see the wall. You can see what appear to be chains or harnesses hanging from the ceiling. It's easy enough to tell that seems to be like the shop area, the actual lab area, and that the windows probably look down into it. But other than that, it seems to be, a hallway with windows.
I guess, is everybody coming with me?
Oh yeah,
Does
I'm right
anybody
behind you.
I don't want to split the party, but I guess there's another door we could also investigate if we wanted. If we're pushing forward, I think I'm going to pop kind of beside the window, and I'm going to go ahead and use an action to sort of carapace to an extent to try to blend into the background here. That way I can peek through the window stealthily.
Interesting. So I'm going to move Echo. Echo, do you go in that room with them? I don't want to just move you.
Do I go in the hallway with them?
The observation platform, yeah.
I can see them 20 foot away.
Say that again.
They're 10, 20 feet away, and I can see them.
Yeah, so right now you're still standing in the room y'all started in. Also, press Q, don't hold Q. That's what makes all the dots.
Yeah, I was like, what just happened?
No, you're standing in the room that you guys began in, and they've went through the door. Drix is probably about 10 feet from you. Randy is moving deeper into the hallway that y'all just entered from, or that y'all just entered into. It's just a hallway with windows that overlooks the laboratory.
I'll probably just stay in the room, watching them, maybe keeping a lookout.
Heard. Okay. Okie doke. So you changed your communion carapace, Randy. Actually, I need all of you to make another stealth check, please. Echo, make a perception check.
Do I get an advantage?
Stealth 2 or just perception?
21.
Just the perception. 21.
12. 12 on perception.
Interesting. Oh.
I rolled a 13, but do I get advantage because I changed my
For your
carapace?
carapace? Yes, you do.
Oh, you do, yes.
Take it. 21.
Wow.
Oh, double 21.
Okay.
Chicken dinner, baby.
Okay. Oh, what is he? Okay. So you all hear. Fuck! And as somebody literally drops from the ceiling, like as in were like had hidden themselves away up into the corner of one of the rooms. Let me make this where they can make sure where you see this here. As you two, that he could see when you guys came in and was waiting. When you changed your carapace and you all hid again, he lost you. So you hear, fuck, him drop down to the floor and immediately reach for the window next to him. And yank the window open and stick his head out the window. Hey! There was something up here!
Oh, fudge.
Oh, I grab him.
Okay. Make a... I guess it is just an attack roll for grab. Okay. No. It is it is an athletics check, please. I'm sorry. It takes an attack action.
Athletics?
It is an athletics or
That's fair.
acrobatics.
God damn it, 5.
Do you have acrobatics?
Hold on.
Because you can use that instead.
Yeah, my acrobatics is way better. Yeah, let me do that.
Sorry.
25. Oh, yeah, nat 20,
I forgot
baby.
it's both. It is a nat 20. Let's see if he rolls any higher than you. His acrobatics is pretty good, too. Not quite. No, you do, as he's leaning out and begins to holler, you immediately, and you're big, so I like to think you like put him in a half Nelson and wrap your arm around his head like a mixture of a choke and like a crossface and drag him away from the window. It's a little bit difficult.
Cover his mouth with my other 2 hands.
It's a little bit difficult to tell whether or not anyone saw you do that or how much of his holler was noticed.
Should I be down here perceiving that, if I can?
I'm afraid you guys are. If you guys are still back where you were casing the joint from, it's going to be very difficult for you guys to tell what's going on in there. They're deep in the building.
Okay, so too far away.
Demos may bring a message here in a minute. So you, I'm assuming, drag him away. Let me move this token. Let me move it. Drag him back and away from the window. Oh, I'm drawing stuff, guys. Whoops.
How far can you drag him? I mean,
Half
is he like good? And you think you can get it back through the door?
Who's here? He could get him to the doorway.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna telepathically hit Drix and be like, try to get that idiot back through the door.
Heard.
So Echo, you as you're kind of watching to make sure no one comes out through the other door in the room or even through the windows, you turn to see Drix literally dragging one of these people you guys saw, not dressed in Sharn Watch clothing, seemingly dressed like a civilian. And Echo, I will say that with your background, you recognize this. We have to fix that. You recognize this as very likely a plainclothes detective. They all dress in that kind of style. Oh man, I guess.
You said I see a plainclothes detective walking up.
No, Drix is dragging him back through that doorway. He either has
caught a little fly.
Yeah, he either has or very nearly alerted the rest of the laboratory.
While that's happening, I think I just want to try to sit as still as I can and determine if people are like scrambling down there, maybe peek through the window just a little bit, or people scrambling around and moving. How far away is the party, approximately? Like the rest of the party?
At least 30 feet, probably 50 or 60. Like, if y'all are trying to stand off and away from a building far enough not to draw attention, it's going to be, you're going to be a pretty solid chunk away. They're within message distance. They're close enough that Demos can send y'all messages, because I think that y'all would have done that. So within 120 feet.
Okay. I'm gonna trust him in that moment that people were scrambling around outside like guards and stuff. The Deimos would have sent somebody a message and let us know. I'm gonna put my total faith in him there, while I try to determine what's going on out there where he was yelling from.
Oh, it kicked me out of the game. Interesting. Okay. So, Zephyr and Deimos. I would say at this time you guys don't see any scrambling around outside. The guards outside aren't leaving from their post or anything like that.
Right.
Randy. Okay, so here's what's gonna have to be the case. You guys have surprised, or at least Drix has surprised this motherfucker. So you guys do get a surprise round. Drix, unfortunately, you had to use your surprise round to grapple him. So Randy, you can use your action to perceive out into the laboratory if you would like, or you can use that action, however you would have used it in combat. And then same with you, Echo. You have an action to use for this surprise round before we roll probably into an initiative.
Ooh.
If that's the case, you have him grappled. I'm gonna walk up.
So what is it that we're trying to find out here?
You're looking for any evidence to take back to Vera about who's doing the break-in, what they were after specifically this time. You've been told they have been stealing like drafts of contracts to kind of delay the contracts being finished.
So this detective, or what appears to be a detective, he may just be doing the same thing, investigating?
Could be. I will say
or do we think that...
I mean, you guys know that the Sharn Watch is investigating the break-in. You also have been told they're taking a very long time. Much longer than usual, than would be expected.
All right. Randy said you're looking into the observatory or laboratory.
I'm trying to decide if I'm going to use that or if I'm going to try to unconscious this man.
And Drix was dragging back to the room I'm in.
He is
I
dragging
get a sleeper
him, yes.
hold him, dude. Like,
Yeah, he is dragging him back into the room that you're in. They're kind of in the doorway now.
I would, I'm gonna take one of my arrows and put it right against his neck. Tell us what we want to know, and you live. You don't. And then I slightly push the arrow into his neck further.
Okay. He does freeze immediately. In a rather professional manner. You do not see a lick of fear on his face, but I need you to roll a... What's them called? Not deception. The other
Intimidation.
one. Yeah.
intimidation.
Intimidate him.
If that doesn't work, I can just threaten to eat him.
I'm about to say, you might have advantage, because he's,
You said I roll intimidation?
Yeah, go ahead and roll it with advantage, because Drix is, like, manhandling him. A giant praying mantis is like...
Said with advantage?
Holding him like a cricket.
Is that what you said earlier? It's called a cricket?
Something like that.
I heard 14.
If it's with advantage, I get a net 20.
Oh.
Oh.
And that 20. Okay. Interesting. You see him calculating, so to speak. He seems to be putting two and two together that he had never noticed you until now. He lost Drix and Randy when they changed. He's beginning to kind of put together you guys might be much more professional than he might have given credit for in the beginning. He says, you didn't tell me what you wanted to know. Well, he tries to. If it, through Drix's...
Shoot. We're here investigating the break-ins because you of the Sharn Watch seem to be incompetent at your jobs. So it is suspected that there's some foul play going on.
Make an insight check.
Why are you guys taking so long?
Okay, why are they taking so long? Make an insight check. And this will count for a couple
18.
things. 18. Let me see here.
Hey, look, I got video on.
Okay. What are you taking so long doing here? There's a lot to look through. Not to mention it's a big lab, and it is a mite suspicious that these things popped up the way they did. Mighty similar to Warforged, don't you think? Didn't really answer your question. We're trying to determine how close their creation process is to the Warforged. And I'd say with your insight check for an 18, you know what? Y'all can't see me roll, but I should be rolling things. He seems very hard to read. You gather he's being level with you, that is why they're there. Difficult to tell if he's hiding anything else.
You tighten my grip a little bit.
Part of that cut out what you were explaining. If you guys have some questions you think I can ask, you can jump in.
Yeah, I'm gonna feed because I still want to stay by the window. I think the play for me is still to determine if there are like more people coming or not. But I think I do want to telepathically feed Echo a little bit and say, I don't understand why it's this man's business what these people are doing in private trade. Why does it matter to him how close these things are to Warforged? It sounds to me like they're digging into things they have no business being part of. That's just me.
Telepathically, I would say, I mean, aren't we doing the same? But turning to this detective, I would ask, how many more of you are there? More detectives, more guards?
He tells you that at any given time on site, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 guards, 2 detectives, 2, I don't want to call them, I'm trying to think of a cool name for them. 2 arcane eyes, if you will. You would know this as slang for kind of like investigators. They're mages. They're spellcasters. And Vior himself.
So are they all just kind of like John McCleaning their ass up in the air duct, or just him?
I was tasked to watch over the laboratory from up top. Keep eyes on everybody. I will say, Randy, you said you wanted to turn and look. There doesn't seem to be a major stir. He did seem to get somebody's attention. You catch. Oh, I need to open this so you can see it. I'll go ahead and do the whole thing, mostly. Everything that you could see. So the best you can tell, by the time you look, it seems like everyone has went back to their business, what they were doing. You do see one guard who seems to be not hurrying, but strolling back towards the direction the staircase is in.
All right, I'm gonna relay that. Say it looks like we got one coming up. The rest of them are still moving. I'm gonna tell you what I see down there. I don't know if that's a spot worth picking.
Thinking the same thing.
Echo, make a history check for me really quick.
Is there any info question? All right.
Yeah, do y'all have any more questions?
I was asking if there was any other questions. 17 in history.
17. So I think that will be high enough for you specifically, being an agent of House Tharani, that he slipped something that probably only you would pick up. He called some of them down there arcane eyes, which you know is slang associated specifically with the Dark Lanterns, which is Breland's equivalent of the CIA. It's the Breland's espionage agency. But other than that, if you guys can ask him however many more questions you have time for. It is up to you guys how you'd like to continue forth.
We might be out of our league a little bit, guys.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I do want to ask him one quick question. I'm gonna sort of mosey back from the window as I was relaying that to the rest of the people up here that we might have bitten off more than we can chew, and I'm gonna sort of side eye him a little bit and say, "Why does it feel like you're investigating the people doing business here as much as you are the people working in?"
Well, surely you know that the Creation Forges were outlawed. They were all ordered to be turned off. You really believe they're making those things like that without one? And he's not lying. When the last war was ended, part of the Treaty of Thronehold that ended the war was for the Creation Forges, the created Warforged, to be shut down permanently. Yeah, right? Look, I ain't here to do nobody no harm. I'm just here to do my job. Hell, you said you were here to look in after the break-in? He points to the window behind him. We have a whole dossier on that, laying on one of them tables down there. When you get down there without being seen and take it, I won't say a goddamn word. Sovereign's damn word.
Insight check.
Go ahead.
I guess. I don't.
Yeah, right.
Not the best.
Very hard to read. This man is a professional.
Hey, I'm gonna give it a shot. Actually. No, never mind. It's worth.
Drix is like not lost the whole conversation, but has spent most of it thinking like, I wonder what this man would taste like.
Why am I holding him again?
This hunt is getting slow.
Yeah, alright, whatever. Would I know from looking through the window like how much of a drop it is from this window down to the floor? Is it like a first level back down 10 feet?
10 feet.
10-foot fall is gonna make sound. Probably will it cause damage? I don't know.
It is technically like 1d6 or something. It's like a d6 per 10 feet. Maybe
Problem
it's
is,
a
I
d8
don't know how much
10
time
feet,
we have.
or a d10. I'm gonna go look. It's up to you guys. You do likely have time for a question or two more if you wanted to ask specifically about the break-in, but don't want to influence y'all too much about how y'all handle the, I don't want to say impending doom, but potentially stressful situation.
Yeah, that guy's about to go upstairs, go.
It is 1d6 damage per 10 feet.
I think I'm gonna look it over and I'm gonna say, buddy, there's way too many people down there for that. Screw your dossier. Give me the highlights and we got a scoop.
Okay. You know, I'm not even gonna make you make a check. There's 3 of you guys. He has no idea this guy's walking up the steps. He says,
Yeah, who's the suspect?
He says, it was extremely clean and very professional. Virtually nothing left behind, to be honest. We combed it for twice as long as we might usually comb a site, a crime scene, just out of an abundance of caution for how well done it was. Oh no, I need to go ahead and the stupid button because it's backing me out of stuff. 1 second to consult a note. So he says that it seemed that, yeah, they noticed, because they have access to bureaucratic files, that there are lots of license and documents missing that would be needed both to conduct business and to continue. You guys already know that they were taking things to prevent the contracts from being drafted, but he reveals that they were taking things that prevented them from moving forward. Certifications and things, licenses and things of that nature they would need to do that business had been taken out of the building. And he tells you that at least one suspect, a suspect that they had been profiling during the investigation, was turned up dead recently, somewhere in Upper Sharn. Says he can't remember the name off the top of his, can't remember the name of the ward off the top of his head. Says it's written down in one of them dossiers.
We got enough information to hit the streets and ask around a little bit.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna let that ride.
Agree.
I think that somebody needs to check the window, maybe, or can I reach out to the people that are outside if they're sort of nearby still telepathically and ask if anybody's watching the window?
How far is your telepathy reach? You have to be able to see somebody?
It's 120 feet. It doesn't specify if I'll be able to see or not, which is...
I will say that you can, because I mentioned earlier that Demos is trying to stay close enough to throw a message in there, and that's the same feat. So I will say that you could. So who you reach out to?
Since he's the one that's watching, I'll just reach out to... Actually, no. I'm gonna reach out to Zephyr.
Oh boy.
Z-boy.
I'm gonna sort of reach out calmly but hurriedly and say, I think we're about to have to hit this window. Is anybody looking at it? What are we doing out there?
God, who's in my head? Jesus Christ. I mean, well, the vines. And then, kind of come to my senses a little bit. Should I roll a perception then, I guess?
I will say from where y'all are, you can see that there is only one guard. I forgot. Why aren't you pinging? There we go. There is only one guard that would see them exit from the window, and you gather since he's in the middle of his watch that he won't be moving anytime soon. If they just come barreling out that window, he might notice, but he's the only one that's going to see. And he may holler, but he has to holler and alert everybody else.
About one out here, so the stealthier y'all can get out, the better, just so we don't cause a commotion.
I reply and say, I'll do you one better. You need to get over there and say something to him. Seem like you're lost. I don't care what it is.
Oh my god.
What?
Why am I always having to talk to everybody? And he just kind of sighs.
You're the pretty one.
It's true.
Alright, well, I guess
Where
we
the
go
fuck are you
to this
going?
guy. And...
Demo's over here like, where the fuck are you going? Like, he doesn't follow you, but he is going to stay close enough to throw a spell your way if he has to.
Alright, so I guess I'm gonna go up to yonder guard.
Okay.
Yonder window.
While you think about how you want to distract him, I am curious, you B&E team, backdoor team, front door team, window team. So,
I like backdoor team.
How are you gonna deal with your captive here? Do y'all just let him go?
My vote.
Bust a run for it? I'm curious y'all's plan.
I'm gonna hand him 1 gold for the info, and then 4 more gold for your silence.
Or I could eat you right now if you say anything. Jesus.
What is wrong with this way? You hear him mumble something about off-worlders. He pockets the gold. And gives you a knowing look, Echo. That was a fair sum of gold for a non-adventuring type. You guys watch as he points to his belt where you guys see a dagger. He says, Someone's sticking my arm.
Yeah. I reach up with one of my tiny. Oh yeah, my tiny secondary arms reaches over and grabs his dagger and just stabs him with it.
Perfect. he does.
While I'm still holding him.
And, kind of, he does do the thing. He reacts like he's been stabbed, and then kind of nods and grits his teeth, and he says, "It'll look like y'all got the jump on me and got out. Toss me in that corner over there, I guess."
Look.
I'm gonna. Is he actually hurt? I'm gonna look at him and be like, "No, you know where the staircase is. I need you to go head off the guy coming up. Let him know that we went the other direction."
That's the only way down for him. The way he's coming from. Not for him. That's the only way down, motherfucker.
Friend? Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
So we're buddies now. Let me slip you some extra gold.
Not bad.
You were mistaken. You thought you saw some. It was the draft from the window moved the sheet.
There's a knife. There's a knife in my arm. I'll tell him you jumped out the window going out to the yard.
Hey, listen, idiot. People fall down all the time. Things happen. It's okay.
Yeah.
No, that's fine.
He says, I'll do it. Just let me go. I'll go right now.
All right. Scoot.
All right.
Scoot.
All right. If you let him go, Drix, he does immediately go out the door and straight towards the other door, and kind of not yelling along the way, but he makes it clear. He says he's not gonna stop for long when he sees my arm, and he's gonna do his best to waylay his companion. And you do, of course, you do hear them as you guys are like rushing to the window. You hear their exclamations and excited talking, and you do hear him mention, as he said he was, something about the yard.
Is the door like a regular door? Is like a closable door?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna prop one of those chairs up against the doorknob and close it behind it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh boy. Let's see here. So y'all are going out this window. How are y'all going? Are y'all trying to sneak out the window? Oh well. Okay. Back to Zephyr.
Yep.
You know how you want to distract this here guard. Which to be honest, as soon as you begin to roll up, he's like, hold up. Oh wait a second. This is a crime scene. Civilians cannot be wandering around.
Okay, so as I'm walking up, I'm going to reach behind because Zephyr carries a spear. That's his one freaking melee weapon. I've got like a longbow, a javelin, and a spear. So he's gonna be like reaching around and like cut his own like arm up a little bit in hand and come up kind of limping, like feigning hurt, and then he's gonna collapse on the ground and wail.
Make a deception
check. Oh God, he got me.
Okay, make a deception check. That's pretty good.
That's the most emo thing I've heard all day.
Damn.
Oh, that was a 10.
All right. Guards do not have great stats. So this is technically insight.
Go ahead and slip out while it's man.
Okay. He comes rushing over. Like, what the hell? And he comes, I guess there's no hell either. What the Kyber? I'll look up Eberron hell later. And he comes rushing over. Like, sir, are you okay? What's the matter? And kind of, reaches you on the ground and begins to kind of look for your injuries.
And I'm just gonna thrash as he's like, trying to like assist me. I'm gonna thrash around and wail that it was, it's the burglar. He came back to the scene of the crime, and he's out on the loose. I tried to stop him, and just kind of start twitching and feign seizing, I guess, like freaking out.
He's extremely alarmed at first as you're kind of flailing around. He's like, "Sir, what's?" And when you say that, he stops. He goes, "How did you know there'd been a burglar here?" And begins to like roughly take you by the clothes to try to drag you to your feet.
Oh God, I'm being roughed up. It's not my fault. I saw him. He had bags of stuff, and he had a bunch of papers falling out. He left a whole trail, and I'm going to point like in the opposite direction of the window, trying to kind of like get his attention away from the window.
Well, the scene you have created is doing a remarkable job of distracting him. He is back to the window, the whole 9 yards. It is drawing a lot of attention from the other guards. I will say.
I'm already out the window.
I was about to say you guys. He does make a successful gambit and give you guys enough time to slip out the window, get back down on a rope, or maybe just drop. It's up to you guys. They might have to be more distracting if y'all are going to anchor a rope.
Well, so my thought was I left the rope anchored and just sort of pulled it in the window behind me, but the arrow's still up there. Was the way I was gonna.
Fair enough.
Play this.
Fair enough. I'll allow it. You guys all slide down the rope, and whoever's last yanks the rope down and pulls the arrow out. As you guys, just in time, as you guys are, not as you hit the ground, but because I imagine you guys hit the ground and start running to kind of make distance from the place. You guys get your distance about the time that you hear the guard go, "How did you know about a burglar?" and begin to try to drag Zephyr up. Let's see if Demo says anything can help you.
My wounds! You're hurting me! I'm just an innocent bystander, and this is how you treat the innocents?
Brutality.
Does anybody have any minor illusion spells or anything?
Oh man, I mean, Demos can blast you.
I got a minor illusion spell.
Thinking create a momentary distraction as they're running off, sort of off in the corner to avert his eyes and let you bail the heck out of there, maybe.
Sure, let me see. Sound or an image.
Make it look like an anime waifu's bathing in the fountain over there.
The cat girl waifus.
It's just Pandora, but she's got the smoke around her.
It says if I can create a sound, I might try to just sound like another fellow guard in the distance. Hey, let her go. Or let him go, sorry.
I'd be like, hey, I found him or something.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that they found the burglars, yeah.
Okay.
Back up my story here.
You have to be able to see that space you're creating it in, the sound. Do I need to look? Let's see. Because that will depend on exactly how far back you can throw that sound. It kind of depends on where the
images says no more than 30 feet. I gotta be 30 feet away.
Gotta be 30 feet away. Okay, so I would say from where you guys are, you would probably have to put it in this little alleyway back here. But that's where his back is to. So you cast your spell to make your sound let her go in a guard's voice, and you watch it the guard immediately let him go. Immediately lets him go and spins around. You get the idea that wasn't any guards patrolling that way, and that if someone got behind him, he's in trouble. But spins all the way around, doesn't see anybody, and kind of looks and glances back at Zephyr. Thinks about does not really view Zephyr a whole lot of a threat, and rushes down this way to kind of check the windows and look deeper into this alleyway.
Then I gotta scuttle away.
I was about to say, I'm not surprised. That's what I would do. You guys do as you're scuttling, as Zephyr's scuttling away. You watch him kind of check the windows, and this is actually off over the side, because this is so high up into Sharn. He even looks over the edge down the city of towers to see if he sees anybody floating or hanging or anything like that. And of course, by the time he gets back over here, Zephyr has ski-daddled, and you all have left this guard very frustrated, actually.
Yeah.
I feel bad for him. Yeah, he was harassed.
We're a bunch of tricky people. It's okay.
To be honest, the guy in the inside was more harassed, but he had it coming.
He had it coming.
Manhandled him, bro.
Yeah,
He ran into my knife.
I thought that was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be really bad because y'all didn't. He could see y'all, and y'all couldn't see him when y'all walked in. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
I was like, oh no, because I thought you were gonna go to the window closest to him, Randy, and I was like, oh no. It was real good that you went to the far window.
If you want to know the truth, the reason I went to that one's because I wanted to be closer to this one over here in case I had to like bail out of it into the courtyard and try to hide.
Let's see. No, because that's gonna be. If you had stopped next to that window, he was gonna get you.
Like jump right on me. Ugh.
And it's real funny y'all disappeared because like he was just gonna slip out and go tell people, but then he lost you two, so he's like, "What the fuck?" Like, okay, well, that was very interesting. You guys do make your great escape. I think it's a song. Off and away from the laboratory in the 12 Towers district. Pardon. I hadn't had coffee tonight. You guys are up in the upper wards of Sharn, so this is you could consider this to be upper class, where most of this is the professional district. So there would be labs, very nice warehouses. I don't even want to call them warehouses, more like storage facilities. You probably would also find scribes, maybe not magic shops because there are shopping districts, but this is essentially the ritzy professional district. Businesses, bureaucratic things like that, all inhabit this district. And it is 10:30, so we can take a break if y'all are cool with that, while y'all kind of regroup mentally and decide where you would like to go next.
Actually, yeah, let's do that.
Be back. Let's just call it an even 10:50. In the upper level, like I mentioned earlier, that is as you guys can see, this is where it would look like an actual city. There would be sky above you and things like that. When you get down the middle city, it's kind of like walking around on ground level of like Atlanta or New York. When y'all are in the lower city, it's more or less like being indoors. You're down in the city. Very little light, mostly artificial light. So yeah, enjoy your look at Sharn from this super old book. These maps are pulled out of like a 2E book. Because I have a problem. I think,
So,
Brandon went away, didn't he? I wonder if he had to go deal with something.
Probably.
In and out on occasion.
We can give him a minute before we start back. Of course.
He had to go talk to the Thespians Guild for my acting award.
I see. Okay. Fair enough. That's funny. I like that.
I wasn't sure how dark I could go with the emo jokes there when you were talking about, cutting yourself up and stuff.
Oh no, that was absolutely the whole point.
In line. Let's see. Well,
he's experienced with hurting himself. Bless his heart.
Yeah. I was an emo kid. I'll give you a pass.
I was somewhere in there. Emo kid adjacent.
Oh, I was way in there. Oh my god, it was bad.
I think I thought I was emo when I was really just goth.
That sounds like that should be your autobiography title.
I thought I was emo, but I was really just goth. That sounds like a good album title.
By Fallout Boy.
My Panic! The Disco.
Hey, goth is a spectrum, all right? We've seen it. Like, we've seen teens that are gothic, and they're not really, they're not wearing like trap pants. They're hanging out with pitchforks.
I was, and I believe the term is goth egg, which is like someone who's like goth on the inside, but they don't dress goth. They don't wear the black all the time and stuff like that. Like, I called my wife a goth egg the other day, and she got real mad at me. It's kind of funny.
Man.
Yeah, that's where I got that. So there's like all kinds of random names for like, I don't know, how you identify things or whatever. But one of the funniest ones to me is still the alternative.
That's my favorite term.
You grew up in like a really rural area, but like you're still into like metal and have long hair and like don't look like you'd fit in. But like today, I walked outside in my yard without a shirt on and just put on cowboy boots without socks and like went and did something because one of my kids had like opened the gate, came back inside, and I was like, I bet if people see me walking around, they don't think I do that, but I do.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Same. We've all been there. That's especially our.
Over here, just.
Go ahead.
Over here, just farming with like black fingernail polish on and shit.
Yeah, especially our generation. I feel like the alternative is a very popular subset.
Oh man.
Let's go.
Yeah, like if you farm with fingernail polish, it gets a little chipped up, and then it looks like the aesthetic, but you're also you got working hands.
You also can't see the dirt under your nails. Perfect.
He's right. That's a good point. I like.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna give Brandon a minute or two more. I will also leave it up to you guys if he doesn't come back. If you guys want to call it tonight, I understand. Or y'all are also welcome to go find something to do. That could be very interesting, but I get a fair amount of practice improvising, so.
I got one thing we can do if there's just a couple people down.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down to play unless something happens or people just don't feel like it anymore. Like it's
cool.
You'd be hard to deter me.
Need to go find me a bandage. You know, my arm's all sliced up, just dripping blood everywhere. It's a wonder no one follows us. Because I refuse to get it on my nice, expensive robe.
I see that you've been wearing the same robe for 3 months.
Magic keeps it clean.
It's true. I guess you can prestidigitate your robe.
God, buddy.
That's fair. What was I gonna say? I feel like Goob could fix you up, but I don't want to volunteer Goob for that just because. In case y'all need that magic.
Goob's on cleaner duty.
Yeah, in case y'all need that magic later.
Do you take any real damage?
Only on the end.
Only on the inside.
Oh, I don't think Goob can fix that.
Not licensed to fix that. I will say that somebody though can help you wrap your arm/hand up so that you're not at the very least exposed to whatever germs are. No one knows what that is right now.
All things considered, Zephyr's just being dramatic about it.
Devin starts like writing out a table. He's like, "All right, so here's how you can get infections in Sharn in my system. All right, we're gonna do it."
First time around, I had a whole document for like drugs. What kind of drugs you could get a hold of.
We're playing Fallout.
I did that for the last one. I did that for Storm King's Thunder. I was gonna have it where like Arcanox and Skullport was gonna know some drug dealers or something. I had a whole thing with Traveler's Dust. It was pretty awesome. But I never got to use it though.
I feel like that's the story of everyone's life in D&D. There's always stuff.
Right. Oh yeah. I forgot to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Story of my life. Not just in D&D. I forgot to do that. Story of my life. Oh boy. Well, Brandon may have had to go deal with that, which sucks. I'm sorry, Brandon. If you're listening to this, my condolences.
Rest in peace, though.
These are going to go on YouTube eventually when Joey and I have a live game. He's going to process and put them on YouTube. So just coming soon to a YouTube near you.
Like and subscribe.
Otherwise, what would you guys like to do now that you have? I don't even want to say narrowly escaped. You guys got what you got. Maybe not the exact information you were looking for, but got some information and got yourselves out without getting trapped, killed, harassed, captured.
I was pressed.
Shut up, never.
With minor wounds, we'll say.
I mean, my initial thought was just to try and work our way back towards House Cannith, but I don't want to get too deep in a dialogue like that without people here who might contribute to an extent, you know?
Fair.
So there are shops and stuff around here. I love putting you on the spot when it comes to popping in a shop and seeing what kind of cool items they got for sale.
Joke's on you. I learned how to prepare for that years ago.
And also, as a flourish, because I just thought of this. You said we're in like a nicer part of town. There's like nicer shops and stuff like that. I think Randy's going to do his best to make his carapace look like he's wearing like a navy blue suit coat with like an undershirt. But it's obviously like it looks like it's painted on because obviously he's not really wearing it. So it's just like he's sort of attempted to make his actual skin look like he's wearing a navy suit with like a nice shirt and a tie.
Just a tuxedo t-shirt, man.
That's pretty funny. You all watch Strix change his carapace to look like a very poor facsimile of a Navy suit. And
it gets okay.
So
I'm gonna wrap it. It's gonna be fun.
There's Silvergate, a district literally right next to 12 Pillars called Silvergate. It says fine shops. So if you guys wandered in that direction, you would probably find things like jewelry, fine clothing, maybe some restaurants that would be considered, 5-star, very nice restaurants, or the equivalent of in Eberron. And things of that nature. You might find an adventuring store. This is not quite the kind of district that caters specifically to adventurers. But you would find furniture, pretty much anything you can think of for fine shops. Makes me think of like the snooty section of town, where you're going to find all the not exactly useful but very nice things.
Hmm.
Is there anything y'all are looking for in particular? Any kinds of shops you're looking for in particular?
Randy can't even pretend like this isn't for him. Just looks around. He's like, I ain't feel like I fit in very well in these parts. I was hoping to find something that maybe had, I don't know, some cool weapons or a little bit of armor, some fancy cloaks.
Okay. I would say that most likely you guys would eventually, like I said, not many of them in this district because it does seem to be catered more towards civilians and wealthy merchants, nobility, things like that. But there is at least one or two. We'll call them adventure. They call them. Some people call them magical item shops. Some people call them adventuring stores. There's several names for them. Oh, stop it! I changed the buttons on the side of my mouth, and it was my mouse, and it was the worst idea I've ever had. 2 seconds.
In my brain, I just imagine like these drink stores are like finding a Mountain High Outfitters in the mall. Like you're surrounded by like Abercrombie and Fitch and like a Hollister, and there's just like a Mountain High that sort of pretends to cater to outdoorsy people.
Pretends to cater to outdoorsy people. I like that.
Yeah, you got your Patagonia stuff,
I love Patagonia. Why am I being called out like this? I actually don't know if I have anything Patagonia. I am that person, though, that really likes having outdoor stuff, even though I don't go hiking anymore. It's sad. Okay, I'm getting real mad because I know there is a list in here specifically to help me find shop names. I found them. Perfect. You know
You
what?
just had to yell at it a little bit.
Yeah, I did have to yell at it. Because that's how you handle this. You just have a list of names ready to go. It's real quick. Alright. You guys find all these names suck. Not that one. Oh, Brandon's back. Hello.
That's what I was stalling for time. It was a plan.
Alright.
Sorry, I had a conversation with an operator.
Pew pew operator?
What?
It's a joke. It's like a prepper joke. People that think they're special operations that have never been in the military, that think they could perform like special operations, operators. Okay, I like this. You guys stumble upon Arto's Arcane Assemblage.
Ooh.
I gotta change the name for this. Where'd I say Yins was? Y'all was in Silver.
Silver something.
Yeah,
Silver something.
I'll find it in a minute. But y'all stumble upon Arto's Arcane Assemblage, and you stroll in, and you can, as you were requesting, it does seem to be a magical item shop or a adventurer's shop of some kind. It's a little more than a general store. Much more of catering specifically to Wildspacers or adventurers that have already made their fortune, so to speak. You do see very nice sets of armor, pristine-looking weapons, and a solid array of potions and things of that nature. Are you looking for something specific? You are obviously greeted by the shopkeep as you come in. Greets you jovially. Looks a little funny. Looks a little funny at Randy and a little funny at the rest of you. The only one he doesn't give a funny look is Zephyr, since he's the one wearing fancy clothing.
I look like I belong.
Echo, to give you background, I changed my carapace to try to make it look like I was wearing a navy blue suit, but it's literally just like my skin sort of changed into navy blue suit.
Nice.
Briggs makes no effort.
I guess I would look for like a +1 bow.
Wasn't like that. Interesting. +1 bow. Okay. Odd or even, Brandon?
Even. Everyone always goes odd.
It's the best. I hate to break it to you. Okay. Cool. So the shopkeep kind of smiles. He says, those are very quick to get. I could have one for you by tomorrow morning, at the latest. Might even come in today, but they are a little pricey. Let me check its rarity real quick. I'm pretty sure I remember.
What's the damage?
Make sure I ain't misquoting you here. Check one more thing. I don't want to quote you something that's stupid high. Because it's probably not quite as expensive as I was originally thinking.
Determining supply and
Yeah.
demand in a
Okay, so
fake universe is hard.
yeah, he tells you that they usually run about 500 gold pieces.
I don't think we have that much gold. Right?
You
all
individually should have that much gold.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
all
6, yeah.
you all have 602 gold.
Oh,
Each?
my count says 635. I don't know why.
I know I just gave up 5 gold. All right, you know what?
I give you 5 back. Like, thanks for the solid.
Is there any perhaps a house discount? And I would kind of discreetly slide up my House Tharani mark on the forearm.
Make a persuasion
Or I
check.
guess, if not, I would ask you, Devin, if there is a shop that might offer a house discount.
So, not so much, not a shop that offers a house discount on items like you're purchasing, as so much as you can go to where the house, not you can get equipment from the house. The house is probably not going to provide you a +1 longbow, but they would supply you with all your arrows, supply you with rations, supply you with a new bow, supply you with armor and things like that.
Gotcha. I got a 15 on the persuasion.
He looks at you and since you seem like you're going to buy it anyway, he kind of looks around at all of you and he says, I give discounts to repeat customers, but you didn't flinch when I said that price. How does 450 sound to secure a tentative business relationship?
Could we perhaps offer our services for even more of a discount? Is there any?
To be quite honest, there's not much I need done. Business is as usual around here.
I might have to talk to my fellows here, but I know that I wouldn't mind shopping here from now on for that kind of discount.
At this point, I think Randy's gonna interject a little bit, and he's gonna lean in. He's gonna say, "Oh yes, hello. My name is Buck Ramble, and I am a repeat customer."
Did you just say that in my head? I'm sorry, that was very disturbing. Anyway, I am very happy to sell you guys anything you would like. I'm very happy if you have you guys return at a potential discount to yourselves should you return again. I will knock off 50 gold from the price for you having to wait to acquire your bow, sir. But I'm afraid I can't go any lower than that. They are expensive to procure.
Seems like a solid deal. I'll take it.
Wonderful. I will speak to the Mercane about that and see how quickly I can have it here. Anybody that wants to can make a history check. He used a vocabulary word.
Oh, the vocabularies.
Wow. I feel like I should have like a natural.
This is great. That's perfect. Zephyr, and this is great because Zephyr is most likely to know about these. So Zephyr, you know that Mercane, Mercane, Mercane. You know that they are a race of giantoids. When I say giant, I mean like 8 to 10 feet tall, not like Storm King, who's 26 feet tall or whatever. A race of these kind of blue, thin giantoids who you and most people would understand to be almost these galactic merchants. Like, you have seen them almost everywhere you have been at home from where you are from. Like, it's really weird. For Nat 20, yeah, it's really weird. Like, no one knows, including your family, no one that you knew at home knows if there is one of them that is somehow moving around the universe at light speed, if there's a bunch of them that communicate somehow, but they're this extremely enigmatic, hard to pin down race of giants that seem to do nothing but that. Trade.
Very cool. Fancy. He got the fancy hookups.
You do go well. I didn't see nobody. Brandon, what was yours? I guess I missed it because I was looking somewhere else. I'll go look.
I rolled a 3.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Mercane is just some guy, I guess.
Yeah, you just think it's the dude. You think it's his drug dealer. Okay. So it is is late-ish, I should say. It's not approaching midnight or nothing like that, but you do gather that the shops will be closing soon. I don't want to say right this second, but he tells you if he gets it before he closes, he will let you know. But otherwise, you could come back first thing in the morning and it would for sure be there. Overnight delivery. Mercane delivery services.
I'll be back on the morrow.
He's got prime shipping.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. My elbow hurts from reaching. Y'all, look at this. I know I'm sorry to distract y'all, but we never get to see this cat back here.
Oh, that's a baby.
That's Cherub.
That's a whole baby.
That's the very shy one. Doesn't
Little
like
baby.
Bear.
Bear. Yeah, it doesn't like to come in this room with a dog, so this is a rare opportunity to put her on the camera. That's the first time y'all have ever seen her.
I don't think she'd appreciate that.
What she don't know don't hurt her. She's very sweet. She just doesn't know that not everyone is scary.
Oh, little baby.
Yeah. It's okay,
though.
One day.
I want her to be my friend.
She's interesting. She's weird. She's my friend, except for like once every 3 days, and then she's nobody's friend.
God, this sounds like my cat.
Yeah, she's very shy. Come here, little one. But is there anything else you guys would like to shop for before the... she's the opposite of Collie, who run all over y'all. Is there anything else y'all want to shop for while y'all are out and about in this fine district of shopping and stuff? Let me make a note that Echo's got to pick up.
I don't have much use for fine wares.
Because there are like we are in a fancy part of town.
You are in a... Yes, you are... I'm sorry. I wasn't sure.
I'm trying to describe like what I think I'm trying to look for. It's like not like an antique shop, but like somewhere that sells things that aren't like mass produced, right? I'm looking for somewhere that sells things that are like sort of unique. Yeah.
The bespoke post.
The bespoke post, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Like I'm not looking for like another katana that's exactly like the one I have, like or a plus one of just like a replica, something that people make. I'm looking for like things that are oddities, like things that are imported, or things that aren't necessarily common. And I imagine in a fancy part of town, they might have a house that can, or somewhere that can acquire these types of things.
Like a house of curiosities.
I would be window shopping for blue suits for Randy. Just kind of casually glancing to see if we pass by any tailors.
This is definitely the place to find. I was explaining to them, I think, before you got back, that this is a fine. The maps of fine shops. So not as many adventuring stores like you guys were just in, and much more jewelers, tailors, woodworkers, people that construct houses and things of that nature. So you would pass by several tailor shops. And I'd say you probably find suits that run anywhere from probably the cheapest being 40 or 50 gold to some that run up to hundreds of gold.
Is there like well, probably not, like a Goodwill that has thrift suits?
You imagine if you went down into a lower district, or even just to another shopping district that's not fine shops. If you went to one of the upper shopping districts that didn't cater specifically to finer goods, you could find cheaper things.
Full disclosure, in my mind, I have the blue tux from Dumb and Dumber.
Not familiar. I'm gonna let you all enjoy that image for a minute.
I was gonna say Devin doesn't like humor.
I don't know if I should stop you or not, but I think that maybe what you should understand about what has just occurred, even like the persona and the suit and everything, is more like a lark. Like he's holding a mirror back up to high society more than he is trying to be them. If that makes sense.
Let's see.
So don't waste your money. That's what I'm telling you.
I got you.
I mean,
more like just kind of casually, like I wouldn't actually purchase it yet. Just keeping an eye out. Like, yeah, like okay, I'll have to remember to come back here maybe one day.
I'm sorry, Randy. What did you? Oh, oddities. Interesting.
And if there's nothing, it's fine. I'm perfectly fine with heading on to get a night's sleep and going to Cannith.
I do think you guys are in the right spot for that kind of thing. Go ahead and roll a perception check for me, please, just to see how much longer. We're gonna see if you can find it before it closes.
Perception's trash, but 15.
15. Okay. Sorry, my nose itched. You find the perfect expanse takeaway. Interesting. Which you do find to be, as you kind of said, it seems to have been at one time maybe a manor that has been renovated to be a shop of curiosities. You guys mosey on in, if that is what you wish, to find a somewhat eccentric gnome manning the desk, so to speak, in what would have probably been not the foyer, but the drawing room, the entertaining room. I don't know what they called living rooms back in the day. But you're looking for anything specific? Otherwise, you would find what I would call knickknacks. Jade statues of various gemstones and/or metals. Wall art, or especially like in places like Eberron, clocks, orreries, or I can't say that word ever. Orreries made of several different materials, and I even would think in some sections there may be maps of like antiquated maps of Sharn, antiquated maps of other continents and things like that. And there is a section that is labeled Argonessan antiques, which you guys would know is the continent the dragons supposedly hail from. Just a mishmash of vaguely historical artifacts, things you can hang on your wall, things you can carry with you, knickknacks, musical instruments. It's almost like a yard sale, sort of.
Okay. I'll walk up towards the shop keep and I'll I'll pull my katana out, and I'll in common, instead of doing the telepathy thing, because I don't want to freak these fancy people out anymore. Um, I'll sort of explain to them, hey brother, listen, it seemed like the right place to pop into. I'm a collector of one thing and one thing specifically, and that's more of these. And I sort of like take the katana and I not really jam it into the ground, but I sort of prop it up on the counter in a way where you can see. Um, and I explain, it doesn't necessarily have to be fully functional, but I like things that are unique. I'm not looking for anything mass produced. I'm not looking for replicas.
I think what Randy needs is a fedora. At this point. God. Katana collected.
We can't turn Randy into a sysadmin neckbeard. I'm sorry.
When Zephyr said that, I cast a minor illusion on top of Randy with the fedora to see. I could see it.
I like to think the gnome behind the counter is like, yeah, actually, it suits him a little bit for as much as a fedora can suit a bug. He says, he or she says, well, I can keep my eye out. Obviously, I'm not a weaponsmith, but you don't seem after weapons. I can take a look around. You want historically significant artifacts or just particularly unique blades?
I'm a big fan of both. Anything that has held its place in history, but primarily I'm not a big fan of mass-produced items. I like something that has a little bit of story behind it.
Okay. I don't have any of those. She points to the katana, but I will keep my ears open and my contacts aware. I do have, and she reaches. She kind of goes behind the counter. It's been constructed in the room, or she was already back there. Excuse me. She moves down to a side of it and kind of hunkers down behind it. You can hear her rummaging around, trying to find something. And she does eventually procure not a katana, but a saber, you would think of like a cavalry saber, sort of. And she says, "This is the closest thing I have at this time. Supposedly, the last cavalry saber made for one of the Warforged. I said cavalry saber. One of the last sabers made for the last. The last saber made for the last Warforge, created in the Creation Forges."
Probably does hold a historical significance of some sort.
It's not much. It's not like finding a great general sword or anything, but the farther that bloodshed goes behind us, the more it'll be worth. I've been waiting on somebody who would appreciate it to come by and snatch it up while it's still less than premium fee. It's not worth a terrible amount at this time.
Yeah, what are you asking for it?
So,
and I would also like to see if I can infer if they're being honest. I assume they would be in a place like this, but...
You can make an insight check if you want.
Only my insight was better. That's a 3.
Hard to tell.
Could I maybe help as a bougie myself?
If you're wanting to help to make sure that she's telling the truth, you can make an insight check.
Yeah. I am just as dull.
Excuse me. Yeah, y'all are both like taken by just the. It's almost like going to the burrow. I guess some of y'all don't know. There's just shit everywhere, and y'all are like very taken looking at all the different shit hanging on the walls and on the ceilings and stuff. I'm sorry, I'll stop burping eventually. She tells you she'll take 75 gold for it. And she does impress that it's not a magical weapon or anything like that. It is just a saber, but it should appreciate in value over a span of years.
I'll look back and I'll say, that's a little bit steep for my liking. I might give you 50.
One of your friends wants to purchase something else, I might be convinced. Is this the? Do you have any more in your collection? I would like to know what's going to someone who appreciates it.
At this point, because he always keeps it on him, I'm going to pull out a little notebook that he has on him that sort of list out some like semi-important things. I'll glaze through it a bit, and I'll just more or less flip through to a listing of swords that are currently owned by me, and then a listing of, and I'll sort of like keep my hand covered on the ones that I'm necessarily looking for at this time because we don't have that relationship yet. And I'll explain like, yeah, I got a handful of items. I'm hoping to get a few more. There are some very specific ones I'm hoping to find. So I think if we could procure a relationship, since you seem like the kind of person that could find some hard to find things, then we might be able to find each other mutually beneficial.
Why does it keep doing this? Sorry, my thing's being weird. Okay, so go ahead and make a persuasion check with advantage, since you did display to her that you have been collecting these things for some time.
18.
She would agree to give you 50 gold for it, seeing that you do already have a collection, and that at the very least they're going to someone who knows how to take care of them.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, don't forget to mark that. I will also mark that in this here. Just down here.
Done and done.
Minus 50 gold. I am excited because of the way this campaign is, with y'all flying around so much and a bunch of time passing. That will actually get a chance to appreciate and value. That's going to be kind of neat in 3 years in game time.
Hold you to it.
It's going to be neat. I'm excited. Is there anything else in particular y'all would like to look for in this section of Tavik's Landing? God help me if I can't remember the name of this actual district. God bless. Y'all are in Silvergate.
But
Make sure there's not anything. Yeah, you'd have to travel pretty much across the city to get to like shops. You guys also, I would say, you guys that live in, you guys that lived in Sharn, grew up in Sharn, I guess mostly Demos, would know that there is an adventurer's quarter across the city over here. But that's a hot minute to get there, and it is getting late. You guys are running into later evening, 9-ish o'clock, between talking to the people you've talked to, staking out the laboratory before breaking in. It is just about time to turn in, but y'all might have time to do a thing or two more if you were inclined.
I think at this point, Randy's like stretching and yawning a little bit. He looks over at Echo and he's like, think your buddy Chance will hook us up with the room again? Because I'm feeling a little tuckered.
I don't think that would be a problem. It's what, a couple hours back there though, huh?
Yeah, might be a minute. I wouldn't say a couple of hours, since y'all know where y'all are going. I think he was in a middle district, so it's not like you're having to go from upper to lower. He was in Memphis Plateau, though, wasn't he? That's not too far. Maybe about an hour. By the time y'all get back there, it is well and truly evening. Later in the evening, 10, 11, however you want to, whatever quantifies evening. You guys are, I guess you weren't here last week, again, waved through. No payment necessary. You are welcome to speak with Chance if you wish to, Echo, or anybody wishes to. Y'all are welcome to drink and do whatever you guys would like to do. Otherwise, you'll get your rest in. Not a long rest, but
Maybe ask him. I don't know if you guys already did. If he heard about any of the recent deaths of the Upper Sharn folk, trying to narrow down who the suspect might be.
Recent deaths of Upper Sharn folk.
The detective told us that. Yeah.
Devin knows what you're talking about. Chance is trying to figure out if he knows what you're talking about. I would say that he would tell you that he has heard. He did hear. At this point, he just knows it to be a rumor. He says he has heard whisperings that one of the temple priests, maybe not priest, I have to check my notes, one of the members of the temple, like one of the clergy of the Temple of the Silver Flame in Upper Sharn, had recently been reported killed. He said, he said he didn't get a name, but that's what he had heard as of recent, as in the last day or two. Had kind of come through his radar.
Good enough.
He's always glad to be of service.
2 more days until the ship leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it'll be 2 days after tonight.
And we gotta tell Vera.
Yeah.
Tell her what y'all
Gotta
find
go back
out.
to Cannith.
Sounds like y'all was inclined to do so. If there's not anything else y'all would like to discuss, I'm assuming y'all take your sleep for the night.
Yeah, I think Randy might ask Drix if he wanted to sit around and have a drink and just sort of people watch for a little bit, since we don't have to like really sleep as bug folk, but otherwise.
Just general rest, yeah.
I gotta get some sleep before I get all bug-eyed.
Oh, Lord,
I forgot. I'm sorry. It's not Davos. All right.
Lord,
I didn't say that.
No, it's okay.
Echo the Shadowbringer.
I'm just jealous of all you and your wit. All you fuckers making jokes. Okay. You guys take your sleep, not a rest. Dun dun dun. Y'all get up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed the next day. And of course the world is yours, as I guess I keep saying now. I don't want to coin that phrase, but it may happen. So y'all are, of course, welcome to go back to Vera if you wish. I know, Ben, you've been saying you know somebody you want to talk to, and you're welcome to do that whenever you want. You've mentioned it a couple times, but I hadn't like actually led them there, and I don't want to give you the impression that I'm not ready or something. Like you are welcome to go do that whenever you would like.
No, I honestly, like I said, I keep forgetting about it, honestly.
Right.
But before we head over to House Cannith, I have a contact who's got an ear to the criminal underworld who might have some information. You guys want to try to get some more information before we try to cash out?
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, it might have a bigger payout.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Tricks, I would probably lead you guys. Y'all are staying in Middle Sharn in Memphis Plateau. Y'all are led down. He leads you down into the lower levels of Sharn, not all the way down into what is it called, the depths, but you know, yeah, into the lower city. I guess it's called here. And you have to search for an amount of time before, after a little bit, Drix, you locate a CD bar you're very familiar with, and Drix slides on in, and y'all follow and of course, this early in the morning, a particularly CD bar is mostly empty. You do see a person or two passed out, like over their cups, heads on the table. The bartender is nowhere to be seen. It is early in the morning. The bartender usually in most fantasy settings, the bartender doesn't actually come down to about 12, which I've always thought is weird. Every adventure book's like the bartender comes down at 12. I'm like, that's weird. But you do see the only really alert being in the room is a gray warforged sitting at a corner table. seemingly, I don't want to say keeping book. He seems to be kind of making notes, which Drix you, of course, recognize as your friend Lifter.
I walk up to him and get his attention. Said, Lifter, it's been too long. Might have another favor to cash in.
He does look up when you call his name. He looks vaguely startled for a second. What is wrong with you? Stop. Vaguely startled until he sees you and kind of breaks out into this snarky grin, and he says, well, that's not a surprise. Favors are 1 in a million these days. I've not seen you with so many folks. Who are these people with you?
For the time being, they're business associates.
That's unusual for you.
Yeah, we're working kind of a big job right now. We're trying to investigate a break-in at a warehouse, and the Sharn Guard are being particularly secretive about it. So, wondering if you had any information on any break-ins, people asking for extra muscle for jobs, anything like that.
I could know a thing or two, and he kind of does the hand thing where he's like, I could know a thing or two.
Drake kind of sighs and drops in 25 gold.
Whoa. Okay. He looks a little shocked that you're throwing around that kind of money, and he says, that is a welcome change. As far as I'm aware, the Sharn Watch is not involved with this investigation. The Dark Lanterns are posing as Sharn Watch to continue to pry into Cannith dealings. The leader of this, the person heading this investigation is Vior Malik. They, to my understanding, brought him out of retirement in order to procure his services for this investigation. They're looking for dirt on Thiles in order to obtain his secrets. Excuse me, which y'all already knew some of that. I was trying to think. No, that's all you've asked so far.
It does seem to thicken things. Echo, you have any questions? Randy? Anybody else?
I feel like that last thing was an incomplete thought. I could also, have zoned out for a second. So Vior Malik is leading the investigation on House Cannith and trying to do what now?
They're trying to. What he believes, or what his sources seem to tell him, is that they are trying to obtain. They want to find dirt on Thiles, or they want to find how he's making these, so that they can take that secret from him. Either by getting him in legal trouble, like you have a creation forge running, you're in trouble. You're violating the Thronehold Accords. Or just by simply finding those secrets in the warehouse and taking them.
Okay, so confirm my suspicions. Cool. Do I have any questions?
Typical economic espionage.
I think there is a question y'all should ask about some information you recently obtained.
About the dead
Temple of
guy.
the Silver Flame.
Oh yeah, the people dying in Northfern.
Up in Eberron. If you guys ask about what Chance told you, Lifter tells you. The only thing Lifter is able to tell you beyond what Chance had just told you, that a member of the clergy of the Silver Flame had been reported dead in the last 2 days, is a name, Oswald. I'll just type it in. Ozwald.
Oh,
I'm sorry, what was this guy's name we're talking to again?
Lifter.
Lifter.
Oh, okay.
He was built to be more of a construction/manufacturing unit, but after the dissolution of the Warforged and the forges and all that, He turned to a life of crime.
Yeah, that checks out.
Oh yeah. It makes some money somehow.
Indeed, you
It
do.
also fuels his alcoholism, so.
He's got to drink it, keep it stay alive.
I'm sorry. Lifter's absolutely destroying me.
I love it. It's great. I'm all about Lifter. Lifter, the Warforged bounty hunter.
Lifter Hernandez.
Truly, Lifter Hernandez. Yeah, I really wish I'd had a chance to practice like a Bender style voice that sounded robotic.
I hate you so much right now because I can't.
I got distracted by a roll. Echo's shooting at people over here. That's okay. So, is there anything else you would like to ask Lifter about anything that you guys have been involved in the last however long? Couple of days, 2-3 days.
I'm gonna ask Drix. I'm gonna be like, "Hey, brother. This fella seems pretty plugged in. How much do you think he knows?"
That's anyone's guess, honestly. Lifter deals mostly in information.
Sounds very familiar to somebody else we know. And I'm gonna look at Lifter for a second. And I'm gonna say, "You ever heard of a tiefling named Sly?"
Man, you beat me to it.
A couple of times. He is slippery. My contacts have reason to believe that he is contracted with a large espionage organization.
Well, that makes sense. Could it possibly be the Arcane Eye?
I think you're trying to ask about the Dark Lanterns, who employ
Lanterns, yeah.
They employ the Arcane Eyes, which are like their magical PIs essentially. Not PI. I guess it's not private investigator if you work for the CIA, but you'll get what I'm trying to say. He actually says, he says we haven't found any evidence that that he is working with the Lanterns, and as far as we are aware, he's not had any contact with any of their known agents. If he is working with the Dark Lanterns, he's hiding it very well.
Seems pretty in character to me.
All right, let me ask you one more question about him. Just because I'm curious what you know about the Arcane. He seemed to have some sort of bond and vow, a contract. It was written on his wrist. I don't fully understand it. Is that common amongst people who have power around here?
It's common. It's common for bounty hunters, espionage agents, adventurers of particular might, and Randy may not know this, but Echo, Demos, anybody from Eberron could tell you that that's a pretty common thing. When something really needs to get done, the people that have the money to pay for those contracts to be written will pay to have the magic put on the contract. Especially for bounty hunters, Wildspacers, and adventurers. Echo, you weren't here, I guess. I don't remember if you were here or not. Echo knows that is extremely common in espionage organizations. House Thorani will both make and sign these contracts very often.
Cool. I don't think I have any more questions for Lifter.
No more questions. You're on.
He pockets the gold. He says, now, you come back if you have any more questions. I can't. All my accents running together. Too many drinks. If you have any more questions, friend, you might be my highest paying customer now.
I always try to keep my sources close.
Yeah, you can tell that he looks very excited at the idea that, although you came in with a group of people he's never seen, he at first seemed a little wary. Seems to put two and two together that you and your friends make decent coin.
I actually just thought of something. On the way out, I'm gonna stop and spin real quick, and I'm gonna say, "Hey, I thought of one more quick question.
Hmm?
What do you know about a Breeze Silverport?"
Oh. You know what? Roll an odd or even.
Odd, because you like odds. DM's mercy.
I guess I should start calling that wheel or woe again because it sounds better.
Yeah, it does sound good.
Afraid I never heard of her. Would you like to? I'll tell you what. I will do a small amount of research for the fee provided today.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
I was gonna say, notably keep out for contacts or payments of Dragon Dust.
He nods. Appreciate the starting point.
How much gold is it gonna take to get you to an ending point, my friend?
Let's come back and visit me. We can discuss after I've done some preliminary research.
Fair enough. That's the end of my question. I'm done now.
Okay. I love y'all have all these. I love that y'all have and have asked all of these people to look into these other people because it's great.
It's just a web. I imagine that I'm like Charlie Day, and I'm down in the mail room, right? And I'm like, it's all connected, and I have like the strings and stuff.
I got boxes full of Pepe.
Oh wait,
Okay.
Devin's not gonna get that.
I don't get it, but it's okay. I'm used to
Pepe
that.
Sylvia, Pepe Sylvia. I got boxes full of Pepe.
Pepe Sylvia. I gotta do some giggling.
Not only do all of these people exist, they have been asking for their mail for days.
Man,
It's a meme.
I sent you a gift that tells you everything you need to know.
It's from Always Sunny. I hate sitcoms. Okay. Wait, is this the scene where he's standing in front of the board? Like,
yes.
Yeah.
okay, I'll watch it here when we get done. To appease you demons. Okay. Where would you guys like to go next? It is still mostly early in the morning. It didn't take too long. It didn't take a terrible amount of time to find Lifter and quiz him about what he may or may not know. I'm going to make notes while y'all decide where to go next.
House Cannith.
Yeah, let's go down.
I'm gonna go get my bow and then
Okay.
meet them wherever we're headed.
Go ahead and please equip that since you've subtracted the gold that is there in the morning. Congratulations.
Equipped.
You guys went real fast into buying +1 weapons, which is, like I said, I wanted y'all to have lots of money to buy whatever y'all wanted. So I'm glad y'all are leaning into the lots of money thing. But you get an achievement, Brandon. First one to buy +1 weapon.
Yes.
How about it? Okay. Y'all go visit Vera. Trying to decide.
Man, it's
Where'd it go?
Pack, Sajak, and Vera.
Say it again.
Randy's
It's a
the new
Wheel of Fortune
Davos
trope.
I'm a fool.
instead of Vanna White.
Instead of Dana White.
Vera White.
All right.
Appreciate it,
I got you.
Randy.
Perfect.
What? I appreciate that we're still in the same place we were in last time.
Same. I was just looking at that.